Manchester United are back in training at Carrington. The international break is over. The squad has returned from their respective national team duties refreshed, recharged, and with a laser focus on what promises to be the most important final stretch of the Premier League season that this football club has experienced in years. Leeds United arrive at Old Trafford on Monday evening, and the fixture carries an enormous weight in the context of the Champions League qualification race that has defined everything Carrick has been building since January. Win on Monday and United take another decisive step towards the top four finish that would transform this club's summer, this club's recruitment, and this club's entire trajectory heading into next season. The injury and availability news coming out of Carrington this week is significantly more positive than it has been at almost any point since Carrick took charge, and the extended break between the Bournemouth draw and Monday's Leeds fixture has given the medical staff the time and the space to work with several key players who have been managing ongoing issues throughout recent weeks. Multiple returns are being targeted for Monday evening, and if they all come through the late fitness assessments that will be completed before kick-off, Carrick could have one of his strongest and most complete squads available for a home fixture that Old Trafford is ready to embrace with everything it has. Let us go through the injury picture player by player because the details matter enormously heading into the final 7 games of the season. Bryan Mbeumo withdrew from international duty with Cameroon during the break as a precautionary measure, with the club describing the issue as minor and managing it carefully to ensure his fitness is protected for the run-in. The former Brentford forward has been one of the most consistent and most dangerous attacking players in Carrick's setup, and his withdrawal from national team duty was always intended to give him the maximum possible time to recover fully before Monday's return to action. Multiple outlets have reported this week that Mbeumo has overcome the minor problem and is expected to be in contention for the Leeds game, which will be a significant boost for an attacking lineup that relies heavily on his pace, his directness, and his ability to create danger from wide positions against defensive blocks. Benjamin Sesko is the other attacking player who withdrew from international duty during the break, with the club confirming that the Slovenian striker has been managing an ongoing issue that United have carefully monitored throughout recent weeks. The decision to keep Sesko away from Slovenia duty was specifically designed to give him the full duration of the break to recover completely, and BBC Sport reported that he is currently expected to be available for Monday's clash with Leeds. Sesko's recent form has been nothing short of extraordinary, with 8 goals in his last 11 games, including the decisive contributions that have rescued points and won matches at the most critical moments. Having him fully fit and fully available for the final 7 games of the season is not just desirable for United. It is genuinely essential for a club whose entire attacking threat pivots around his physical presence, his pace, and his devastating finishing when the system functions at its best. Lisandro Martinez is the return that would generate the most tactical impact and the most collective relief across the entire United setup. The Argentine centre-back has now missed 5 consecutive Premier League matches since the calf injury he sustained in the build-up to the Everton win in February, his last appearance coming in the 1-1 draw at West Ham. His absence during the most important sequence of results in Carrick's tenure has been deeply felt, but the news from Carrington this week is the most encouraging it has been since the injury was first confirmed. Carrick addressed the situation directly and with genuine optimism at his most recent media briefing, saying that Martinez is closer now, a lot closer, and that after this one he thinks he will be all right. Those words from a manager who has been careful and measured about injury timelines throughout his tenure carry real significance, and the expectation within the camp is that Martinez will be available for Monday's Leeds game, potentially from the start or at the very minimum from the bench. Getting Martinez back alongside Yoro at centre-back restores a defensive combination that gives United something fundamentally different in terms of quality and organisation compared to what has been available during his absence. The reason Martinez's return is even more urgently needed than it would normally be is the situation surrounding Harry Maguire, who will be absent on Monday, serving the suspension he received after being shown a red card against Bournemouth for the penalty incident involving Evanilson. Maguire's late lapse of judgment in that match was the kind of moment that can happen to any defender in any game. But the timing of the red card and the suspension it has triggered means United go into the Leeds fixture without their most experienced and most defensively reliable centre-back available. If Martinez also cannot make Monday's game, Carrick would be forced to field a central defensive combination of Lenny Yoro and Aidan Heaven, a partnership that has shown genuine quality in the moments it has been called upon, but which represents a significant risk in terms of experience and communication against a Leeds side that will be aggressive, direct and fully motivated to cause problems at Old Trafford. Noussair Mazraoui missed the Bournemouth draw through illness, and his absence was covered by Tyler Fredrickson. But the Moroccan fullback subsequently joined up with the Morocco national team for the international break and played 82 minutes against Ecuador in their friendly fixture, which represents a positive sign that the illness has passed and his physical condition has recovered sufficiently for competitive involvement. Mazraoui is expected to be back in contention for Monday, which restores a versatile and experienced option at right back and provides Carrick with important defensive depth across the back line. The Patrick Dorg situation is one that has fluctuated throughout this week between cautious optimism and realistic expectation management. The Danish wingback has now missed 8 consecutive Premier League matches since the hamstring injury he sustained in the closing stages of the Arsenal win back in January, and the recovery has taken considerably longer than the initial prognosis suggested. However, the most recent update is an encouraging one, with Dorgu now back doing individual work on the grass at Carrington, a significant step forward in his rehabilitation that represents the first visible sign of his return to outdoor training. Carrick indicated before the Bournemouth game that he would update the media ahead of the Leeds fixture on Dorg's specific availability, and the hope within the camp is that the winger might be in contention for some involvement on Monday, even if a return to the starting lineup is perhaps too optimistic given the length of his absence. The potential return date for a fuller contribution is now being linked to the Liverpool home fixture on the 3rd of May, which reflects the medical staff's determination to ensure Dorg is completely right before being thrown back into the physical demands of Premier League football with a hamstring that has already caused one serious setback this season. Matthijs de Ligt remains the most concerning and most complex injury case in the United squad. The Dutch centre-back has now been sidelined for 4 months, with the lower back injury he sustained at Crystal Palace in November, and Carrick has confirmed this week that he is genuinely worried the defender could miss the remainder of the season entirely. That is an extraordinary admission about a player who has not featured once under Carrick's management and whose absence has placed enormous additional demands on every other centre-back option in the squad. Carrick described the back issue as proving difficult, saying the club will keep working as hard as they can to get him back, but acknowledging that the nature of the injury makes it genuinely challenging to pin down any reliable timeline. De Ligt has still not returned to training with the squad, which is the clearest indicator of just how far away a realistic return remains. The broader picture heading into Monday's Leeds fixture is one of a squad that is emerging from the international break with considerably more firepower available than it had going into the Bournemouth draw at the end of March. The potential returns of Martinez, Mbeumo, Sesko, Mazraoui and possibly Dorgu would give Carrick something close to his strongest available lineup, and the combination of those players returning to full fitness alongside the rested and refreshed core of Kobbie Mainoo, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Dalot and Senna Lamens creates an attacking and defensive combination that is more than capable of delivering the dominant home performance that Monday's fixture demands. Leeds arrive at Old Trafford having already been eliminated from the FA Cup, but with their own Premier League aspirations intact and their own motivations firing. A game at Old Trafford against a United side chasing Champions League qualification carries enormous weight for any visiting team, and the atmosphere inside the Theatre of Dreams on a Monday evening, with the full crowd behind United and everything at stake in the title race and the Champions League race simultaneously, will be one of the most intense and most electric environments that this particular United squad has experienced at home all season. Carrick's message to his players this week has been the same message he has delivered at every critical juncture since January. Focus on what we can control. Trust the process that has delivered 11 wins from 12 games. Trust each other and trust the standards we have set together. The Leeds game is not a statement about the title race or the Champions League. It is the next chapter, the next 90 minutes, the next opportunity to show what this squad is made of when the pressure is at its highest. United are third in the Premier League with a 1-point advantage over Aston Villa in 4th. Chelsea and Liverpool are both lurking behind them with their own ambitions and their own belief that the top 4 picture is not yet settled. 7 games remain. Every single one of them matters, and Monday against Leeds is the one that matters next. Martinez is close. Mbeumo is returning. Sesko is recovering. Mazraoui is fit. Dorgu is building back. And Michael Carrick has his most complete and most dangerous squad available for the most important final stretch of this entire remarkable season. Old Trafford is ready. The squad is ready. Monday night under the floodlights against Leeds United is ready to be another chapter in the most extraordinary managerial story English football has told in years. Win, keep winning, keep building. The destination is the Champions League, and this squad is not stopping now. Meanwhile, in transfer news, United are now on the verge of finalising new contracts for both Kobbie Mainoo and Harry Maguire. Romano confirms that Mainoo's deal is in very advanced stages, while Maguire's extension is almost done. The club wants both agreements signed before the end of the season so they can fully focus on summer transfers. And honestly, this makes perfect sense. Let's talk about Mainoo first. At just 19 years old, he has become one of the most important players in the team under Michael Carrick. While he struggled for minutes earlier in the season, Carrick has completely changed his role, and now he looks like the heartbeat of United's midfield. What's even more surprising is his current wage, around £20,000 per week. That's incredibly low for a player of his importance. So this new deal, which is expected to run until 2031, will include a major salary increase and guarantees him a key role in the team moving forward. This is United locking down one of the best young midfielders in the Premier League before his value explodes. Now on to Maguire, and this is a completely different story, but just as important. Maguire's contract is set to expire soon, but after a huge turnaround in form, the club now wants to keep him. He's gone from being heavily criticised to becoming a reliable leader again, especially during this recent run. However, there's a twist. He's currently one of the highest earners at the club, on around £190,000 per week. So for this new deal, expected to run until 2027 with an option, he will need to accept a pay cut. And that tells you everything about the new structure at United. Under Ineos, the club is focusing on performance-based value, not just big wages. If Maguire signs, it will show a shift in culture, players earning based on contribution, not past reputation. Now, while contracts are being sorted, the big rebuild is happening in midfield. With Casemiro leaving this summer, United are planning to sign 2 new midfielders, and the shortlist is stacked. We're talking about names like Sandro Tonali, Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba. And now there's a new name being added to the conversation, Matheus Fernandes from West Ham United. This one is very interesting. Reports suggest that Bruno Fernandes himself is recommending Matheus as a future option for United. The 21-year-old has impressed despite West Ham struggling this season, and he even recently trained with Bruno on international duty, where he described him as his idol. This isn't just a random link. Matheus is being considered as a smart secondary signing, not the main marquee midfielder, but someone who can grow into the role long term. And here's why that matters. United are planning to spend big, potentially £80 to £100 million on a top midfielder like Tonali or Anderson. But alongside that, they want a younger, developing player who can become the future of the midfield. Matheus fits that profile perfectly, but there's competition. And it's serious. Manchester City are also interested, and their sporting director already knows the player well. So if United want him, they may have to move quickly. Now let's talk about the biggest midfield battle, Elliot Anderson. Right now, both United and City are pushing to sign him from Nottingham Forest. He's one of the most exciting young midfielders in the league. Energy, technical quality, defensive strength. He has everything, and Forest know it. That's why they're demanding around £100 million. And here's the problem. City are currently leading the race. They see Anderson as a long-term replacement for outgoing players, and they're ready to move fast. United are still in the race, but they risk losing out unless they act quickly. This could be one of the defining deals of the summer. So when you step back and look at everything happening right now, United are securing key players like Mainoo. They're rewarding experience with Maguire, but on new wage terms, they're planning a complete midfield rebuild. They're targeting both elite stars and future prospects, and they're battling their biggest rivals for top talent. This is not just a transfer window, this is a full reset of the squad structure. Now, I want to hear from you. Should United go all in for Anderson or focus on Tonali? And is Mateus Fernandes the right long-term successor to Bruno? Drop your thoughts below. This summer is going to be huge. Meanwhile, in other news, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Jadon Camerson has signed a brand new long-term contract with Manchester United. The 19-year-old right-back is now tied down until June 2028, with the club also holding an option to extend it by a further year. This is not just a routine contract renewal, this is a statement. Camerson is one of the brightest young talents coming through the United system right now. Back in 2023, he made history by becoming the first graduate from the Emerging Talent Programme to sign a professional deal. That alone tells you how highly the club rates him. On the pitch, he's exactly the kind of modern fullback United fans love to see. Quick, aggressive, technically sharp and fearless going forward. He's been a standout performer at youth level, especially with the U18 LCS, where his attacking runs, crossing ability and confidence on the ball have really caught attention. But what makes this even more important is the timing. Under the INEOS project, Manchester United are not just focusing on big money signings, they are building a sustainable structure. That means investing in young players, developing them properly, and giving them a pathway to the first team. Camerson fits that vision perfectly, with questions around long-term depth at right-back and the physical demands of modern football increasing every season. Having a player like Camerson ready to step up in the coming years could be absolutely crucial. Now let's shift focus, because while the future is being secured, United are also actively preparing to strengthen their attack right now. And one name that has emerged strongly is Iliman Ndiaye. The Everton forward is now firmly on United's radar, and here's the key detail. Reports suggest that Old Trafford is actually his dream destination. That changes everything. Ndiaye has quietly been one of the most exciting attackers in the Premier League this season. Despite playing in a struggling Everton side, he has consistently delivered, contributing goals, assists, and moments of real quality. What makes him so valuable is his versatility. He can play on the right wing, the left, or even through the middle as a second striker. He's quick, intelligent with his movement, and very comfortable in tight spaces. He's also a hard worker off the ball, something that fits perfectly into the kind of system Michael Carrick has been building. And let's be honest, this is an area United need to improve. Amad Diallo has had flashes of quality, but the consistency just hasn't been there this season. With only a handful of goal contributions, there's a growing feeling that United need more reliability in that position. Ndiaye could be that solution. He's already proven in the Premier League, he's entering his prime years, and most importantly, he wants the move. That combination makes this deal very realistic. But if you thought that was the biggest attacking story, think again, because Manchester United are also chasing one of the most exciting young wingers in European football right now, Yan Diomande. The 19-year-old star at RB Leipzig has been sensational this season, delivering goals and assists consistently while showing incredible maturity for his age. Naturally, that has attracted attention from across Europe. United are in the race, Liverpool are in the race, and several other top clubs are monitoring the situation closely. But here's the challenge. Leipzig do not want to sell. They see Diomande as one of their diamonds, a cornerstone of their future project. His contract still has years left, and there is no release clause. That means Leipzig are in full control of the situation. And the price? Around 100 million euros and rising. That's a huge investment for a 19-year-old, even one with this level of potential. Internally, Leipzig are already working on offering him a new contract with improved terms to keep him at the club for at least another season. So for United, this becomes a question of strategy. Do they push hard now and try to secure one of Europe's brightest talents before his value explodes even further? Or do they look for a more immediate, cost-effective option like Ndiaye? These are the kinds of decisions that will define this transfer window. And while all of this is happening in the market, one man continues to deliver on the pitch and lead by example. Bruno Fernandes. The United captain has just picked up yet another Premier League Player of the Month award, his 6th overall. That puts him in elite company alongside names like Sergio Aguero, Harry Kane and Mohamed Salah. Think about that for a second. Through all the ups and downs at Manchester United over the years, Fernandes has remained consistent, productive and driven. This season, he's once again stepping up when the team needs him most, providing goals, assists, and leadership. Even on international duty, he continues to perform, creating chances and showing his quality on the biggest stage. And as United push for a return to Champions League football, having a player like Fernandes at the heart of everything is absolutely vital. So when you look at the full picture right now, United are securing top academy talents like Cameroon. They are targeting hungry, versatile attackers like Ndiaye. They are exploring blockbuster moves for elite prospects like Diomande. And they still have world-class leaders like Bruno driving standards every single week. This is not just a rebuild, this is a club-building identity, structure and ambition again. Now it's over to you. Wouldn't Ndiaye be a smart signing for United right now? And would you spend 100 million on Diomande or invest that money elsewhere? Let's talk in the comments in other Nice views. Romano confirms that Tonali is very high on United's shortlist. Contacts have already been made with his camp, and there is a real feeling that the Italian could be open to a new challenge if Newcastle United fail to secure European football. But here's the twist. City are also watching Tonali closely, while Arsenal are still in the race too. This is turning into a full Premier League tug-of-war for one of the best midfielders in Europe right now, and it doesn't stop there. Another huge target is Elliot Anderson. Right now, City are leading the race for the Nottingham Forest star, but United are pushing hard behind the scenes. This one could come down to who moves first and who is willing to pay close to that massive fee. Behind the scenes, Ineos are planning a complete midfield rebuild. With Casemiro already confirming he will leave the club, United are preparing to bring in 2 elite midfielders, potentially costing up to £100 million each. Now let's talk outgoings, because this is just as important. Reports suggest United are ready to offload several big names to fund this rebuild. Marcus Rashford could join FC Barcelona permanently for around £26 million, while Rasmus Højlund is attracting serious interest from Italy. Add to that Andre Onana and Joshua Zirkzee potentially leaving, and suddenly United are building a huge transfer budget for this summer. And don't forget, this is all happening under Michael Carrick, who is getting closer and closer to becoming permanent manager after an incredible run of results.